we should start. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah McDaniel, Valencia.
And Amadea, Morningstar.
Hi, it's nice to be with you today. You're joining us today for the Gathering Your Light for Immune Support. And we're going to talk about going inward today and paying attention to what keeps our light shining.
Yeah.
So, should I start with the exercise?
I think I'd like to say,
I've
been thinking about this.
Oh, good.
The I Ching has a hexagram, and I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it's about, it talks about the holidays, and it talks about closing the gates, and creating a sacred time.
Mm-hmm.
And as we head into, we're moving into the period of time where light is getting shorter on the outside, dark is growing. We're going to be moving toward the shortest day on December 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we're here in October now as we're recording this, but pretty much here until the next spring equinox, we're in a particular kind of period.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here to invite us as well as you to gather your light, gather our light, and create a place where we can create sacred space for ourselves.
Yes.
Which includes rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that traditionally culture really supported gathering together, gathering the light, and slowing down.
Yes.
Our culture's not supporting that now.
Yes.
So we really want to use this time to help explore how can we gather our light at a time when that isn't necessarily the major cultural impetus.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And what does it mean for each of you, for each of us individually and collectively to do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you for that history. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I have an exercise for everyone to try. And if it's not convenient now, you can maybe try it later. There will be a recording of this that we'll post to our page. So definitely you can refer back to it. There is an exercise around the fire current, the spiral current.
In Polarity Therapy.
In Polarity Therapy, yes, thank you for clarifying. Where it's really about building the fire. And so the way to do that is you can lay on your back. Your feet will come together with the soles together.
I'm doing it as we speak.
Yes.
Not the lying on the back part, but the feet together.
You can put your feet together as you're sitting in a chair. So that's a good, sometimes if you ever work in an office or something like that, then putting your feet together under your desk is completely possible. So I guess it doesn't have to be laying on your back, but it's the most comfortable.
It's
usually.
The best. Yeah.
If it hurts you, so your legs will be, your knees will be open. And if that bothers you in your hips or your legs, if that's not able to be supported, you can put pillows under each side to help kind of prop them up a little bit so they're not, flat. They're a little bit. And you don't have to physically hold, so it's best to just relax in this position as long as you can.
Yeah.
So the soles of your feet are together, and then we've done this before, but placing your hands together and generating the fire between your hands. And then we're going to hold this. Once you got a good fire going there, hold this over your navel. And take some deep breaths. And at any point, if you'd like to rekindle that fire between your hands and reapply, you can. So this gives us a chance to really feel our own energy circulating, moving around our bodies, building from the starting point is the navel, and building from that starting point. And you can imagine a spiral current coming out from your navel and passing through your legs, from one sole to the next, one sole of your foot to the other sole of your foot, of your other foot, and moving outward and bathing your entire body in this fullness and brightness of you.
Gathering the light.
Gathering the light, exactly.
I'd like to add something to this.
Please.
As you're in this position, if you like, you can also breathe. And it's a very simple breath where you're imagining that you're breathing in light. You're bringing the light in all the way down to your navel. And then that you're breathing the light out. So you're breathing in light, breathing out light. If you feel like you're a little bit revved, you can make the exhale a little bit longer, as we've done in some of the videos. So it's like you're breathing in light, and then you're sending out light. Just inhaling light, exhaling light. And as you do that, you can imagine this as compactly as gathering your own light, or as expansive as may this light surround the whole universe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So as we gather the light, this light can benefit everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. My soul's like this.
Yeah. Yes, I've been doing this actually on a daily basis because it helps just, like before I get out of bed in the morning. My son will come and crawl into bed with me and wake me up, and we'll lay there and snuggle for a little bit, and I'll be breathing and holding the soles of my feet together as I prepare for my day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wake up, once I do get up, I feel so much more clear-headed, not groggy, and really ready for what comes next, whatever comes next. So, yeah. So this can help also stimulate your immune system. It really is nourishing to your cells.
It's also, I think about in polarity therapy, there's, 3 currents, and this one is working with the spiral current. There's also the long lines, and the transverse current. And the spiral current is very much our inner fire, as you said. So,
yeah. Great. So one of the things that we had talked about is really how to work with the koshas. So physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. How can we gather our light in each of these areas? How can we attend to our light? What are the things that we can do? So physically, the exercise that we did, walking, any kind of exercise that you do, how are you attending to your physical body, your physical self? Energetically, I love the breath work and this idea of, breathing in the light and exhaling the light. Gorgeous.
Emotionally and mentally, actually, and the sacred I'd like to come back to.
Yes, absolutely.
But one of the things that comes up for me, which is also kind of physical, emotional, and mental, is inviting us to look today at like shedding light on what we're doing with our food, what we're doing with our, like shedding light, awareness, mental awareness, emotional awareness as to how we're nourishing ourselves right now. Is it a way that gathers our light, or is it a way that it disperses it? So as I even ask that question, you might think of different areas where you may be either sabotaging yourself or really supporting yourself. And I mean, but we both are in here to invite you to think about specific ways that you can gather your own nourishment needs in a way that makes sense. We may talk about this more in a minute. I know that we're heading for the holidays.
Yes. Yes. So specifically around food choices. Well, first, I'd like to talk about space, making time and space to actually have a meal. I mean, I know there have been days, especially in the last couple of weeks, that I've been eating on the run, in the car, snacking as I go. So absolutely not ideal, because you're not really giving your body the chance to rest and digest. It's called that for a reason. The parasympathetic nervous system needs some time to really take that in. And when we're going, we don't, our bodies aren't equipped to do that. So it kind of just is in a holding pattern. And that digestion doesn't happen easily and smoothly. So that's really important. The other thing about the holidays, of course, starting with Halloween, is all of the sugar. Amadea said this line yesterday when we were talking about this, that sugar is sanctified around this time of year. And wow, is that ever true?
Yeah, pretty much Halloween through Easter. So we're also here to brainstorm with you ways that you can survive this.
Yes.
What's happening with the sugar.
Yeah. So thinking about and noticing just, how does that sugar act in your body? Despite all the studies and everything, like feeling into it, really feeling and allowing yourself to feel what kind of reactions, what is, do you get sleepy? Do you, get amped and then crash? Do you, what happens in your body? How does it feel to you? And different things that you can do. Would you like to touch on some of those? You had some great ideas.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking,
always.
I was thinking that we're gathering light, we're also gathering protection. And in the sense that some of my clients, I mean, because we're in this period where it's really easy to get ungrounded in terms of the amount of sugar that we're offered, there's different strategies that my clients use for protection. And one of them, a key one, is eating regular meals. These days that's like an accomplishment, to have 3 regular meals.
Yes.
Another is
it's so important for our blood sugar levels and our energy, sustained energy and everything. Yeah. So we're not going for those sugary snacks or salty snacks or whatever.
Yeah. And protein. So being nourished on a regular basis and not being hungry when we come into a danger zone is useful.
Yes.
Protein-rich foods can lots of times be helpful with that. If you have a car, and some of my clients will leave a stash of nuts or seeds in the car so that they have something waiting for them. If you're someone who's who is on foot, you can do that same little stash in your backpack. There's also making foods that you like for a holiday potluck, say, like one pot meals. Could be khichdi, could be turkey stew, could be whatever. But bringing something to a potluck that grounds you and it's going to protect you before with whatever dessert comes on. So those would all be small things. There's another one called the mid-meal meander. Have I talked about that here?
No, I don't think so.
So that years ago there was a book called The Psychologists Eat Anything Diet, and one of the processes they suggested was the mid-meal meander, which is as you're getting into the group trance frenzy of eating, especially, in the sugary scene, you take a break, you leave the table, you just take a moment to check out how you feel, just the way you were talking.
Yes.
You might go outside, you might go to the bathroom, but it's like you're taking a breath and it's like, okay, how do I feel? Am I hungry? What do I want to do here? Am I ready to have more of something, or do I want to slow down? But just getting ourselves out of the trance state, and staying aware can be really a helpful one.
I love that. Having a chance to come back to your body and yourself and really check in, so you're not carried away by, conversation or the socializing. and just eating kind of automatically.
So combining the mental awareness and the feeling, the emotional awareness with the physical awareness.
With the physical. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah. So, and then, so you mentioned the having snacks available. I think that's great. I do that too. That really helped when I was pregnant, and it's kind of stuck. So definitely. And then, regular meals are so important. And, the choices of whole foods, versus processed foods whenever possible. Again, back to the sugar thing, and I don't mean to harp on it, but sugar's in everything these days, even, store-bought salad dressings.
Even in Udi's gluten-free blueberry muffin.
The first ingredient, right? So really just making sure that, you're making the best possible choices for you and your family.
I think about in the Easy Healing Drinks from the Wisdom of Ayurveda book, there's some quick, easy smoothies, and some of them appeal to our sweet tooth without having any added sweetener. Like there's an apple spice smoothie where you just simmer up apples and then with cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger, and the protein there is going to be almond milk or some kind of seed, and then you whip it up. Sometimes, though, it can also be helpful to have a quick, easy veggie drink. Like there's one called Green Basil Brew, where it includes soaked hemp seeds, which are high in protein, 5 grams per tablespoon, and broccoli and red onion and basil and oregano. And it's something you can make. It's like a creamy broccoli vegan soup that you can make up in 10 minutes, and you can have it before you go out and face the world, or before you head for whatever meeting that is.
So you have some satiety and but it doesn't necessarily have to be sweet. I love that.
I also use it a lot when, like, say I've been madly working at home and I've gotten to the place where I'm really hungry, and that's when we're vulnerable. And so at that point, it's something that can be made quickly, put it over rice or noodles or whatever, and you've got a whole meal that is quick and easy.
Good. Excellent.
It's also rich in zinc and vitamin A. When we were talking about immunity, we were talking about how there's different nutrients that are especially good for supporting our immune system and our liver. And the golden foods, the dark leafy greens like broccoli or like kale or Swiss spinach, Swiss chard, cilantro, are all fresh basil, are all things that would be helpful for our mucous membranes and also our immune system. And zinc helps release vitamin A from the liver. So the things that are rich in zinc are the nuts and seeds that we've been talking about. So you can have a whole immune support in a very easy kind of drink or meal.
Yeah. Gorgeous. I love it. Good.
We're heading toward the...
We are. So should we take a break for questions, or do you have more to add?
Well,
here?
There was one thing I was thinking about.
Yes.
Today is one of the high days. It's one of the high holy days in the Jewish calendar. And so there will be some friends that won't be with us today because they're practicing, honoring their tradition. And yet they may see this video later. And I want to talk about, there's many different traditions of gathering the light, and so on this day, some people are gathering to celebrate this high holy day. Other people will be in Zen temples, doing the meditation practice. Other people, when the I Ching talks about closing the gates to the city and all gathering to celebrate the sacred, some of us will do that inside or in nature. So it's also gathering the light is about appreciating what's sacred for us, and we're all so different, and yet honoring that. And I think that as we head into this time, and I think that we're probably going to touch on this because we do these every month. So we're going to have a number of months that we'll be heading into the darkness and then coming out. But it's inviting us to be able to really give ourselves the space to do sacred practices or support democracy. I mean, that's another one that's like, as things come up, there's work, there's nourishment, there's the sacred, and there's also some of us may be going, okay, so how do I support the health of democracy at this time, and this is important to me as my own health, and I honor that. So we're looking to integrate different agendas as we head into these times, and in gathering our light, we're going to really focus on what matters to us and what needs to change and what needs to be supported.
Yeah, and really honoring our connection with the divine, however we might choose to do that, like you were saying. Yeah. Love that. And moving from that place, I think when we build our fire, when we build our immune support, when we build our own resources, then we're able to move with a lot more grace through that integration piece, through that, and navigate through the different agendas. Yeah, absolutely. Good. So, do we have any questions? Let me see. I don't see anything yet, but if you
can also contact us at our websites. Both have our contact info.
Yes.
I'm at AmadeaMorningstar.net.
I'm at LivingEnergyTherapy.com.
Yeah, so feel free to contact us if you do have questions about this or some of our other Zooms. The only thing I can think of that I would want to announce before we close is there will be another tiny workshop. If you're here in the northern New Mexico area, there's a tiny workshop in our series of tiny workshops about integrating polarity, Ayurveda, and healing. And this one will be October 23rd from 6:30 to 8. There's still some space for some folks. You can contact me by phone or email through my website. But yeah, I'd love to see you there if you're here in the area and you'd like to explore. This one is going to be integrating Ayurveda, Marma therapy, and polarity therapy for grounding. So we're going to be working with the earth triad, the earth element.
Great.
Neck, belly, knees.
Great. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Good. And I think that's all the announcements that we have for now and all that we have to say. If there's no questions, I'll give another couple of seconds for anybody to think. Yeah. People just seem to take it all in.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Take care.